It's been a long, hard season. I'm feeling weary to my bones. I guess that's my reason. I've packed my bags and now I'm gone. Somewhere between the sun and the deep blue sea. That's where you find me. Tanned and red, flat out on a beach bed. That's where you find me.
Welcome to the Southwest Coastal Path, an expansive 630-mile trail spanning 4 English counties from Minehead in Somerset to Poole in Dorset. This is episode 1 of the new playlist where I'll be filming different sections along this beautiful trail. So grab yourself a cold drink and have your sunscreen handy before you join us on the ground, because it's a hot one here in South Devon.
Between the sun and the deep blue sea. That's where you find me. Tanned and red, flat out on a beach bed. Somewhere between the sun and the deep blue sea. My feet in the sand, green umbrella drink in my hand. That's where you find me.
It's a sunny day here in South Devon and we're here for the first video of a new playlist here on my channel featuring routes along the Southwest Coastal Path. Chantel's here with me in her home county for a near 7-mile hike from Watcombe to Meadfoot Beach.
Hi guys.
And here she is. Let's check out the route. From Watcombe car park we head down through the woods to meet the coastal path, always looking out for those acorns along the way. From here we'd have 7.5 miles of undulations from cliff to beach, over and over, until finally finishing up in the cool waters at Meadfoot Beach. We'd find a lot of awesome landmarks to look at along the way, and in this film you'll see them all. Chantel, you ready to get us underway?
Yep, follow me.
I've been warned about following strange women into the woods.
Whee! This is fun. Come on, let's crack on. Stop messing around.
So from starting out at Watcombe car park, we've just taken the trail that leads out of the car park and it soon meets the Southwest Coastal Path, at which point we'll really get started with today's route and find that acorn sign that is synonymous with the SWCP. Just descending down now into the valley that takes you down to Watcombe Beach. The car park is at the top of this valley and it's actually a free car park if you decide to visit it yourselves. Here's our acorn trail. So straight away here you're going to start seeing some of the devastation caused by those floods 3 years ago. As we cross over this lump in the road here, it looks like an earthquake has struck. hence why I call this place Earthquake Beach. This area of South Devon has a diverse geological composition varying from sand and mudstones to limestones. You'll easily recognise the sandstones by the red cliffs and sands seen here, but Watcombe Beach is a stark example of the coastal erosion that is occurring in many sections of this gorgeous coastline. Sand, mudstone and the soils that they're derived from are highly susceptible to erosion during big hydrological events such as storms and floods. This causes the sandstone to wear and crumble back towards its original state, adversely affecting the structure of the cliffs, which can result in rockfalls and landslides. Here you can see the devastating effect that a catastrophic storm or flood can have. February of 2020 saw storms Kiara and Dennis hit UK coastlines just a week apart. The effects on Watcombe Beach were catastrophic and ultimately caused this slumping in the land that you see here, devastating the footpaths and the road down to the beach. The place has basically been condemned and deserted now. You pretty much visit this place at your own risk. So as you can see, the beach is pretty much condemned now. Vandalism's gotten pretty heavy here on the old shop and the cafe. Flora and fauna are starting to appear and grow through the cracks. And wildlife's free to move in now. We filmed a video here back in the winter of a family of seals just basking there on the beach. And nature's really starting to take back this small section of the coast. So this here would have been the beach shop and cafe. And you can almost just imagine people out on sun loungers just here that they'd have probably been able to rent from here, just bathing in the sun. But now look at it. And the platform over here that again may have had sun loungers, it's collapsed in. These steps here are just warped and bent by the pressure of these rocks pushing against them. Real example of the powers of nature. So you can see how easy it might be during a magnificent storm like the one back in 2020 for just entire sections of cliff just to be washed away or just collapse in like many of these have just here. So after that little detour, let's get back on the southwest coastal path. So whilst this is a new series about the SWCP, for those of you who haven't walked it before, the signposts are clearly marked right the way around the path with this acorn symbol right here. And we'll be following that today. And I'm not sure why it is an acorn, maybe you guys can let me know about that. But yeah, let's get stuck into it.
I remember myself young and restless, a lampoon of youth. So who am I to really me teach you anything? Do I know what's true? True for
This away. Quite the ascent there. Today's weather forecast, Scorchio. You guys should know I don't actually have a makeup team for these videos. The sweat is real. We're probably looking at temperatures of between 25 and 30 degrees C today at the highest point of the day. We're about midday at the moment. And we've just ascended from the Watcombe Valley here behind us, and it's been quite a steep one, but quite a welcome bit of flat trail ahead of us just at the moment. How are you feeling, Chantal? She's feeling good.
But if your aim is straight, and if you're willing to wait, you're gonna get there. Wait and see. If you can take some rain, you'll get twice the sun, my friend. You're gonna get there. Wait and see. You'll get there eventually.
I've been to Watcombe Beach before. I haven't been to our next point of interest, which is Petit Tor Point, and there's a little beach as well. So looking forward to seeing that. New places. And here, as we reach a gap in the hedge, we can see the whole route laid out before us now, almost. Straight ahead there, you've got Watcombe Beach, going round to Long Quarry Point, and on the very end, you've got Hope's Nose, before it then rounds the cliff back towards Meadfoot. We're stood on top of a cliff. Do you know what that cliff's called? It's called Shag Cliff. Why do you think it's called that? Oh yeah? You're getting a bit suggestive. These videos have got to be suitable for families, Chantal. Easterfield Lane. I think we're carrying on and on.
You'll get there eventually.
Just down here.
Okay, well follow me then.
So Petit Tor Point is basically just a nice viewpoint from what I gather. There is a quarry just there, there's a beach, and we're just heading down the path to it now. I'm hoping it's worth a descent because we have to reclimb this hill in a few moments to get back up to the road.
You'll be giving me a piggyback up.
I will not be giving you a piggyback.
But if your aim is straight, and if you're willing to wait, you're gonna
Here we are.
get there. Wait and see.
And it was worth it.
If you can take some rain,
It is a good view. See,
you'll get twice the
check this out.
sun, my friend. You're gonna get there. Wait and see. You'll get there eventually. Eventually. Eventually.
Well, after a tough and sweaty ascent back up from Pettitor Point, we now meet a section of road for a very brief section of the route where we have to walk around a few houses to get to the next section of the trail. And maybe time to nip in a shop for some refreshments.
Oh yeah, maybe that ice cream.
Maybe an ice cream. A little bit of trail magic right there. I don't think trail magic really counts if you're on a day hike.
I heard a ringing bell this morning, and it woke me from a dream. And in that dream I heard a warning, saying leave the rest, take only what you need. So keep on singing to those who listen, 'cause you can't.
There's a very brief section of road. Coast path, clearly marking our next landmark, Watcombe, via Watcombe Beach.
When you got no one on your side, you gotta love one another, sister and brother.
After quite a bit of undulation, we are now approaching the Watcombe Cliff Railway, which takes us down to the beach. The Watcombe Cliff Railway was closed at the time of filming this hike in the aftermath of an accident that occurred on the tracks there. I first rode these rail cars as an excitable kid in my junior years of primary school, and I'm pleased to tell you now that as you watch this, the railway is once again open, as you can see here on a more recent day out that we had. But descending down the valley into Watcombe, we made our way beneath those tracks and followed the trail down to the beach, where we plan to refuel and rehydrate at 3 Degrees West Beach Bar.
So keep on singing.
And Chantal has very kindly waited for me.
She has.
Time goes slowly, world gets lonely, when you got no one on your side.
The red sands and pebbles of Watcombe Beach. And you can see, again, evidence of those unstable red sand and mudstone cliffs. In contrast to Watcombe Beach earlier, this beach does still look like it's thriving. You've got your water sports just over here. Toilets are still actually usable. Beach hut, shop, cafe, kayaks for hire. And people actually visiting the beach with their leisure time.
Is it cash or card? Is it good? Here he goes. They do the best sandwiches here.
Salmon. Cheers. So unlike what we saw at Watcombe Beach earlier, Watcombe Beach certainly seems to be thriving. You've You've got the cafe that we saw us eating at just now, you've got the shop, you've got the water sports hire, and a lot more people coming down to visit the beach, which is great to see. That's what the English Riviera is known for, the beach resorts. And
Got one thing there.
what's that?
And the girls.
And the girls. Oh yeah. They certainly have a few babes knocking about as well, so there's always that. And we've not even had to detour off the path to get here. The South West Coast path literally passes the end of the beach, and we stay level with the sea for a little bit as we head around to Barbican. There's a couple of things I want to show you there. So stick with us and come along for the ride. For a little bit. In 3 degrees west. Can we get round by the water, or are we going to have to go up the stairs? Upstairs. Oh, it is possible to actually get straight across. And this is Barbican, a small, I see it as a fishing village. Maybe it's part of Torquay, maybe it's not strictly a village, but it is the home of the Carey Arms and Spa. We're definitely not dressed appropriately to get in there for a drink today, unfortunately. They've got an image and a status. They can't just be inviting any old hiker trash in, can they? Eh? To be fair, I think we're both a bit disgusting at this point in the day, aren't we?
Again, speak for yourself.
Yeah. Oodle lally, golly, what a day. This quaint little part of Torquay known as Barbican boasts the highest promenade in the country up on the downs here. Fun fact, Chantel has spent a lot of her working life performing or managing the stage here at the theatre. But down below in the village, life is a little more relaxed. The beach is small and therefore gets less attention than its larger neighbour across the bay. Here you'll see fishermen escaping from the summer crowds for their peace and quiet, a luxury wellness spa, dog walkers, and a pub with a dress code. But here I'd just like to take another detour and show you a couple of small landmarks that I recently discovered here. Roughly halfway around the route.
Are we?
I'd say we're behind schedule as well. Who cares, eh? So this is Barbican. Got a nice little fishing quay there. Some people hanging out. And the town's pretty much all painted in this kind of colour. Come on. We're a little short of time, but there's a couple of little hidden gems that I just want to point out before we leave Barbican behind. Just this way. And the first one is actually just here. It just looks like a rock from this angle. I'm going to show them. As soon as I saw it, I couldn't help but feel that this rock resembled the hand of Barbican, a set of knuckles sticking the finger up at its noisy neighbours over a Todican. This is just an ordinary rock, but it is pretty cool the way it stood up like that. And I took what I thought was a really cool photo of it once, and I put it on screen now. But I decided to give it a name when I captioned it on Instagram, and I called it Bird Flipping Rock. But if the tide allows, there's one other little spot I just want to quickly show you. This way. Can we get across? I'm just going to head up and over in between those rocks where there's a little cave. Down the stairs. Whoa, careful on the rocks. Both hands, that's it. Nice work. There's the fisherman we mentioned.
This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore.
Each time I've visited, I've only ever really seen a few fishermen here, enjoying the cove and the tranquility it brings. If I didn't have that explorer's mindset, that curiosity to discover, I might never have thought of venturing over here. But I see it as a little place worth a visit if you're ever in the area. And here you see Chantal making all of my Lara Croft fantasies come true. Chantal's feeling adventurous. Be careful on these rocks. That's cool.
Hold on tight. I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us. If we just hold on tight, this vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. Ooh, we are dreamers of the shore.
So that was the secret cave of Babbacombe. You've seen Bird Flipping Rock, and you're going to briefly see Babbacombe Centre, the central business district of Babbacombe. And then we're going to make our way through the shade here, back, ascending up to Long Quarry Point, which is the next point of interest on our Southwest Coastal Path tour. Now, how are we going to get down from here?
Well, that one. But then I thought you were going to have to...
I had to slide down there on my backside last time. We're best just going the same way. Exclusive inn on the beach. Well-behaved dogs welcome, but hiker trash definitely not welcome. Shirts and shoes only. And here, we're in the back of Carey Arms. We rejoin the Southwest Coastal Path. The Southwest Coastal Path is full of gorgeous seaside towns, breathtaking vista points, interesting landmarks, and some picture-perfect coves and beaches. That's what you see on Instagram and on the internet, and in the magazines. What you don't think about is the amount of miles covered between all of these landmarks, the time spent hiking sandwiched between two hedges or banks of undergrowth, with absolutely no view at all, down there with the midges in the heat of the summer, or on those slippery, muddy paths that you have to navigate after recent rainfall in the autumn. These are the sections you have to endure to get to those good parts. But don't let it deter you, because there's usually a reward around the next corner. And in our case, we emerged from the woodland and arrived on the plateau above our next point of interest, at Long Quarry Point. Yeah, that was a hell of a climb out of Babbacombe. Not much to show you of any interest on the way. It was just a stepped path steeply up through the woodland. But the reward is Long Quarry Point, and that's our next point of interest of the day. A place that I've loved to come and shoot photos, fly the drone, just relax and just take in the view. Quite a dramatic cliff-like scene above an old quarry, which you're about to see in a second. But just look where we've been. You might not be able to see it on screen, but Watcombe Beach, where we started today, is right across the bay there. And believe it or not, we're only halfway around the route, so there's a lot more sweating to be done just yet. But we're here for it. I'd heard stories of this jagged peninsula, popular with rock climbers and likened to the jaws of an alligator. An area where you can seek peace and quiet from the buzz of the town so close by. Long Quarry Point is the site of a former Devonian limestone quarry beneath Walls Hill. It marks the start of a SSSI, a site of special scientific interest that stretches all the way along the coast to Hope's Nose. Highly active throughout the 19th century, today it's a site visited for recreation by fishermen, paddleboarders, rock climbers, campers and filmmakers, of course. Little word of warning to you though, if you ever do come up here on your own, just be careful. There is the odd weirdo knocking about. There's a couple of benches and bandstands. Wisdom passed on. Don't get caught out by weirdos. Where is she? Chantel? I spend my life waiting for this girl. So we do have to break a few rules here, because to get to the cool part of Long Quarry Point, it is actually fenced off. If your mum was here now, she wouldn't let you go through, and she'll only find out after the fact. Sorry, Jill. We took note of the danger signs and the fencing, but we couldn't just walk on by. We heeded the warnings, of course. There was no real wind, so we knew to take care. We found a gap in the fence, traversed the cliff until we reached the lookout point over the quarry. There are numerous access points from the sea and one steep path via land. I've often thought it would be a great place for an outdoor party, nice and flat, out of the way of the prying eyes of the public. But here it stands, a quiet, beautiful, yet daunting place to visit. Chantel was a little precautious at first, but once she got into it, it was great to see her conquer that apprehension and take in this unbelievable scene together. Whilst we hadn't had time to head to the bottom, we were keen to see it from the lookout point above, so we picked the rough path, flanked either side by a sheer drop to the depths of the quarry below. So, what do you think?
One word. Epic.
Epic?
Yeah.
Does it feel dangerous?
It does feel dangerous. But you're quite safe up here though, really, aren't you?
Yeah, it's sturdy. It's fenced off for a reason because there's sheer drops,
Well, obviously.
and obviously there might be some loose boulders, but we're not taking any risks right on the edge, are we?
No, we're not at all.
And it's just a cool lookout point. So that was Long Quarry Point, very dramatic, kind of rocky peninsula high above the former quarry, but again, one of my favourite spots, and I hope you appreciated it from the air there, with great views over Redgate Bay and Anstey's Cove, and equally back the way we've come, all the way back around this cliff over here to Babbacombe, Oddicombe and Watcombe. So now we're on to our next point of interest, and there's quite a way to go, to Hope's Nose, which is the peninsula that basically turns the corner as you then head into Torquay town centre. And before that, we've got to probably bypass Redgate Bay and Anstey's Cove as it's getting late in the day, but head through this woodland into the housing estate on Ilsham Marine Drive. So let's not waste any more time, let's get over there. Whilst we wouldn't have time for this particular detour to Anstey's Cove, I couldn't let the opportunity to show you these hidden spots go by. Redgate Bay is another great spot that, like Watcombe, also fell victim to coastal erosion and was later abandoned. I've accessed it via Anstey's Cove, and if you enjoy a quiet day at the beach without tourists and noise, then it's definitely worth getting to. This red sand beach overlooks and is a great place to access Long Quarry Point from, either via swimming, kayak or paddleboard. Anstey's Cove, the smaller of the two, is a quaint shingle beach where you can hire a deck chair and again enjoy a quieter beach experience. Rumour has it that Agatha Christie entertained a gentleman down here once or twice. And back then, you can imagine it being a private and secluded place to go on a nice romantic picnic day. The coastal path takes you right past the path down to the cove. It wouldn't be a lengthy detour, but we have miles to cover before catching that sunset at Thatcher Rock. Just taking the steps down past Anstey's Cove as we head towards Hope's Nose, and it's mostly wooded. Some nice coastline, great cliffs. As the path continues from the top of Anstey's Cove, you find yourself on Bishop's Walk. And the legend has it this is a section of footpath built by Henry Philpotts, Bishop of Exeter, who built himself a house overlooking the cove back in the 1840s. He simply wanted a trail to walk right there on his doorstep. This mansion of his is now better known to the locals as the Palace Hotel. And as you'll see here, it's a beautiful woodland trail with cliffs on one side and a steep wooded slope on the other, descending down into the sea below. But look at the sheer drop behind this railing here. Awesome. Just walking the endless trail through the woodland to Hope's Nose. Chantal, your hometown trail.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Southwest Coastal Path after spending a hot, long, sweaty day covering miles on it?
I love it. It has been a bit daunting at times, and I've been feeling like a very hot squirrel.
A hot squirrel?
Yeah.
Bishop's Walk would ultimately see us rounding the curving wooded cliff face of Blackhead. And from there, the next section of our route was laid out before us. Now then, we see it. Hope's Nose. That's where we're heading. We're almost there. This section of hiking was our longest stretch between our landmarks, and we were really starting to feel the jade creeping in, the undulations of the path wearing on our energy levels, but we had to press on. We were racing against the daylight once again. The path brings you out in a rather salubrious area of Torquay on Ilsham Marine Drive, where you basically follow the road for about half a mile before the trail begins again. They've put in a special little footpath up the side of the road, and they've called it the Southwest Coastal Path. Very nice of them. See? We get to spot those acorns. Fortunately, this long section of trail walking to Hope's Nose coincided with the dullest part of the day. The clouds had covered the sun for a while as we still held out our hopes for a great sunset.
Come on. There's no rest for the wicked. I'm at my car. I'm so close. But yet so far. Make that slight detour.
Did you have to make a slight detour because the audience is keen to see Hope's Nose?
And I am just doing it just for you guys. Let's let me see. Go ahead.
We're going to come out on the road, and we pretty much just crossed the road here, don't we now? Cool. And as we just emerge from this path now, straight away, you'll see Orstone Rock. Straight over Chantel's Head there, in the sea. Just full of birds. My kind of place.
Always look for those acorns.
Here we go, straight across the road. Ilsham Marine Drive. Thatcher Avenue, where the other half live. We'd finally made it to Hope's Nose. Another detour off the coastal path, well worth taking. Thankfully, as we arrived at Hope's Nose, sunbeams were breaking through again, and it looked like our sunset may yet materialise. Here, you'll see a little evidence of quarrying and a landform that I feel resembles a lizard, with the tail at the west end and the head at the other. This is one of my absolute favourite parts of this coastline, and here you'll get to see it in all of its glory. Go on, after you. Let's do it. Look at this view of where we've just come from and the woodland that we've just walked through.
Just look at the sunset reflecting on the sea there.
Yeah, we've not got long left of that sun, have we?
It's so sparkly.
Now then, look at these plateaus. We're not going to go right down, but I'll just pan around and show you. I just love it down here. I think you must get sick of coming down here. Mustn't you with me? But
Yeah, it's most visits, isn't it?
I don't know. It's just so peaceful down here. I mean, the town's right there, but then you just walk down that peninsula there and you can suddenly just feel like you're away from it all. It's wild. You've got the sounds of the waves, the birds, the smells of the seaside. There's a few fishermen around, but it's just, you know, come down here for some peace and quiet. Heightens the senses, and it just feels wild, even though it's pretty close to civilization.
Yeah, I can kind of get what you mean when you're sitting here. You know, you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah,
don't you? Where you can just get lost and...
do some soul searching.
Yeah, exactly.
If you just take a moment just to listen now.
At one with nature, hey?
Yeah, it's a shame there's a few fishermen shouting. That would have been a better effect for the video, but you know, they're entitled to do a little bit of fishing. But other than that, just, yeah, love it.
The main thing is, it keeps you happy.
Keeps me out of your hair. Sadly, we had to cut our little rest short. We had little time to sit around now. Time was getting on, and Thatcher Rock beckoned. As we left Hope Nose, we headed along the edge to the tail end and turned it into a circuit. From there, I knew we'd have awesome views looking out towards Thatcher Rock, and the final leg of our route laid out before us.
Guess what?
What?
I can see the tip of Thatcher Rock.
The tip of Thatcher Rock.
Yeah.
We're nearly there. How much do I like this rock?
How much do you like this rock? More than me, I think.
That's a bit harsh. This is a good place to look at it from. The Thatcher Point, there's a little bit that sticks out right over there. We'd almost made it to Thatcher Rock, the final landmark on the route. We could see it. Our short hike over to Thatcher Point was clear. We still had the day's final and perhaps steepest descent to contend with to rejoin the coastal path. And finally, we'd get to see my favourite rock close up. We're pleased to announce that this is the day's final ascent.
Woohoo!
As we get back to the top of Hope's Nose and meander back down to Thatcher Point for a closer look at Thatcher Rock than we've perhaps just seen here now. Is that a little whoop of delight from back there?
It really was.
We've got a tired Chantel back here. Tired Alex as well.
That was a good one. You can jump really high.
Never was a sight more welcome than this style.
explain why it's called Thatcher's Rock?
Why is it called Thatcher Rock? Because from a certain angle, it looks like a thatcher on a roof due to the shape of a few rocks around the summit.
I've told him well. Here we are.
Lead the way.
You've missed another important sign.
This one.
What'd you say?
Look for those acorns.
Hey, darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light. Hey, darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby.
It's been a long, hot day.
That we only get one life.
Only 7.2 miles, but a lot of undulation along the path. And in this heat, it really does sap it out of you. It's not so much the distance that's been an issue. We're both capable of bigger distances than this, but it's as much mentally draining shooting one of these films as it is physically. The retakes, the back and forth. Did we get this shot? Did we get that shot? Early start, usually a late finish. I mean, I love doing it, don't get me wrong. But by the end of this hike today, I will be glad to see the car and go for a dip, hopefully in the sea at Meadfoot Beach. But just now we are approaching Thatcher Point and therefore Thatcher Rock, which is one of my favourite locations probably in the whole of Devon that I've seen so far. So I hope you find it as beautiful as I do, because we're nearly there. Check this out. There we go. Thatcher Rock.
That we only get one life, I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand. Let's get out, we can leave this city.
Once again, surrounded by bushes. It doesn't matter because we're at Thatcher Rock. Thatcher Point, guys. Made it. And this is Thatcher Point. And there it is, the rock in all of its glory. We made it.
We did.
Up top.
I'll race you.
the floor, looking up, wanting more. This is so unreal. I must have been wrong, 'cause your love is strong for him. Why would it not be? He's always there for you. I keep living alone, way so far from home. Free, but ready to flee from this all. Hard to be standing on your own. Hard to be standing on your own.
You really love it here, don't you? What is it that you love so much about it? Obviously, the view is fantastic. But what is it?
Like I say, it's just picturesque, isn't it? Every time you take a photo of it, it's a different shot because the sky is always different. The current's different. There's different seasons, so there's different colours on the island. It just makes a great subject. And obviously I romanticise a lot about pirates and treasure islands and stuff like that. And I know it isn't a treasure island. At the end of the day, it's just a rock. But I just feel like I could come out and just sit on the end here
Yeah.
day after day and just watch the colours change as the sun sets over there in the west. And I don't know. I just sort of, these little fantasies just run through my head, I suppose, of pirates burying treasure on islands. And yeah, that's what it is.
Fair enough.
It had been a long day. Night was falling, and the sunset we'd hoped for had been compromised by low-lying bands of cloud on the horizon. But it kept popping in and out for us, and as you can see here, what we got was a decent consolation in the end.
You come in. We've still got some more to do yet.
I've been taking in the views of Thatcher Cove, Rock, and those steep falling cliffs. It was time to move on to our final destination and bathe in the cool waters of Meadfoot. We skipped out a very short section of the cliffside path here, opting for the alternative, and ascent up Thatcher Green, where we would meet the road and stick with it for the remaining half mile of our hike. And so, what felt like an epic adventure reached its conclusion.
Tiring day.
Roughly 7.5 miles altogether from Watcombe to Meadfoot in the searing summer heat.
You alright carrying all the bags there?
I am now.
Now all we had to do was wearily saunter down Ilsham Marine Drive to reach Meadfoot. A mostly pebble beach where the tide comes in right up to the sea wall, totally eliminating the beach. And here we have our final acorn of the route, hidden amongst the weeds.
And what do you have to look for?
We have to look for those acorns. And this is the final weedy path of the day as we head down to Meadfoot Beach. Fortunately, we caught the tide on its way out, so the timing felt perfect for our swim, and we went in for a dip to cool off. It had been a hot one, and this felt like a bittersweet reward for the effort we put in. It was soothing, relaxing, and we felt an element of euphoria as we bathed in the twilight. But this is where we'll leave things. I hope you enjoyed this film. It's been a long time coming. Thanks for your patience, but I'm already looking forward to filming the next instalment of this Southwest Coastal Path series. So until I see you next, stay adventurous, and I'll see you out there. How's that cold after a long day's walk?
It's lovely.
Is it refreshing?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I am. I'm just climatising.
You're climatising.